You said you were playing Metal Gear Survive.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, so did you hear the latest?
No,
canceled.
I've been having so much fun with it, and I haven't been reading a lot of because I know that there's just so much negativity out there.
Yeah, well, I'll bring it to you.
Okay,
Okay,
tell me.
so
Yeah.
all right. And this
me,
is
though.
Rocco's negative moment of the week.
Okay.
Do like a
No, it's actually not really negative.
Do
it's
an
mysterious.
intro.
It is
him.
mysterious.
All right, Rocco's mysterious moment.
Mysterious moment.
Rocco's
Sean, do
doing
an
now?
intro. Rocco's mysterious moment, and make me fucking mysterious.
Yes,
Yeah, right here.
Do like the theme song to the X-Files, but Rocco has been recut into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Got
Vine
it.
used to.
Understood. We're back.
Welcome back.
Cool.
This is my mystery for this week. A lot of people are trying to figure that fade was killer.
Oh, God.
There are a lot of people trying to figure this out, but there's a point in the game where they hand you a clipboard and they say, "Oh, these are the guys in your army." You know, or whatever. I haven't played it. I can't tell you what this part is. But they hand them a clipboard, and
I'm building the army. Yes.
And you know, there's those names
base,
like Cackling Ocelot, Stunning Viper. You know, all these people have names and stuff. Yeah, things like that.
Boa.
Well, they list all these characters, and the first letter of each one spells out KGP forever.
Oh,
Kojima Productions Forever.
I just saw your brother tweet this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kojima Productions Forever. And then at the bottom, it lists, I can't remember their names, but Bastard so-and-so and Cunning so-and-so.
Yeah.
And the last names, which I can't remember, are the last names of the producers of this game.
One's a bastard and one's cunning.
So people are saying, okay, did they put that in and that's their joke? Or did some developer hide this as a fuck you?
Is the game out?
Yeah, it's out.
Oh,
It came out this week.
that.
Yeah.
They found it already. That's
Whoa. So people are trying to get to the bottom of this. What's the message?
I haven't gotten to that like end credits probably of the single player.
So I don't know.
Oh man.
So people are trying to get to the bottom of this. What do you think at home? Was it a middle finger or a thumbs up?
It's someone who worked on all the games with Kojima and stayed on with Konami and is pissed.
Maybe.
It's gotta be that.
Who knows?
Because there are a lot of employees, I would imagine, that are
course there
there
are.
for this whole ride. People that worked on Phantom Pain, maybe MGO3,
Yeah.
are also working on this, especially in the Japanese departments.
Yeah. So who knows? So not negative, more mysterious.
Oh, very interesting.
But on the negative side, you were bringing up the save thing or something.
well-
You brought that.
You mentioned
Well,
before
I don't
we got
know.
started.
I read an article. I don't know if it's true. Could be fake news. You never know.
Yeah.
But I heard that the game charges you money to do an extra save.
What?
Yeah, if you want to have
have another character,
an
basically.
alternate profile to have multiple characters, you got to pay extra money. which-
$10.
When me and Brian were playing multiplayer today, he was kind of talking to me a little about this. So, yeah, I just started one character. I haven't even... I don't want to start a second character.
Why would you?
But, okay, it's $10. I can see how people could complain about that.
Wait. So let's say I'm playing this game, and then Becca wants to play his own game. It's gonna be $10 if I
guess.
That's what we're saying here?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you can't earn it through... Because most everything that I found in the game, you just wait, and then every day you log in, they give you 30 coins.
Eric, you have something to say?
Yeah, I don't get why this is news at all, because you can only have one save file on Zelda for Switch. You just make another profile. So
Yeah, you make another. Is that the same thing? You make another
Oh,
profile?
yeah, you could do that.
So,
You could make...
So what's the issue?
Oh, then there is no issue.
There's no issue there. It's just, I guess, if I wanted...
Because that's what we
If
do
you
with
wanted to
Zelda.
do it yourself
Here's
personally.
the thing, though.
Oh, well, making.
I think the issue is video games forcing in like microtransactions for stuff that should just be a feature of the game.
But to go back though, if you're playing online, you don't want to have a separate PlayStation Plus account and whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that's not so easy. This game is entirely online, so that
Yeah.
seems different than the Zelda thing, isn't it? Wouldn't you think?
That is a definite kind of gray area for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm not honestly going to need a second character slot. I can't.
No,
imagine.
yeah, I wouldn't either if I was playing, but
Like, I played... Since it's an always online kind of thing, I guess I would correlate it to, like, I played Final Fantasy 14, and that I only had one character slot, and I would have had to pay for more. and I never had the need to do that because I was still just playing the one character.
Yeah.
In Metal
So
Gear Online,
most people this won't affect, but it is just kind of weird.
In MGO3, you could get second and third character slots, which I never did until I was like so leveled out and maxed. I thought, oh, let me try a different class of character. But there is no different class of characters. It just would be a visual difference if you made a male or female or a different looking character. I don't know. I didn't even know about because I haven't explored that amount of the game.
Is there? See, I'm not playing Metal Gear Survive. This is just an article I read. News coming out. People were upset about it. But what is the microtransaction situation in the game? Is there stuff?
I'm sure
you have
it's
to pay
there.
for? Have you explored that at all?
It has never come up, and I've put like pretty big session yesterday and this morning in. And
seems like they're pretty ignorable.
I'm up to like level 23 now in single player. I've just been doing the main missions that you have like an AI in the center of your mother base camp that you're building, and it tells you where to go, what to do, rescue more people, advance the levels of stuff you can build. It definitely started out.
Yeah.
It's a mix of like, did you play Don't Starve or any of those like survival type games?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a mixture of like that, Left 4 Dead, and I feel like what was the 360 zombie game? Dead Rising.
Oh yeah.
Because you're going out like Dead Rising to collect and rescue other people to bring back to your base.
Okay.
And then they get assigned to either help you farm food or go out on mission. Like I got guys now similar to in Phantom Pain. I would send guys out on missions to earn money or gather resources. In this, I can do the same thing. Send guys out to like get food or gather like resources for crafting, because it's all about crafting too. Like Don't Starve. And I guess a lot of people were annoyed right off the bat. It's very imperative to like get water, get food, and you kind of have to do that in the beginning before you can build your farming.
So it actually is like a survival.
It is.
Game. It's you versus
Survive.
the elements.
Yeah,
In addition
and
to the
then
enemies.
as you start going further into it, it's not only food and water you got to keep up, but then oxygen when you go into these dust clouds. So that's a constant drain. Yeah. And then I seem to level up after every big like story mission. I've earned enough energy to come back, level up. It's got rewards and goals that are always obtainable, so I'm constantly finding like new, cooler gear to upgrade and change the colors on my outfit. I'm all dressed up like a Diamond Dog staff member now.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like you've been playing Metal Gear 5? I mean,
since it came out until this.
Until this,
came out, yeah.
So do you feel like this is like a worthy successor to that, or like?
No, it's nowhere near as good as Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, all-encompassing, which is like Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, and MGO3.
Right.
That is like such a fucking awesome video game. And I always feel like I need to jump back in and play a little more of that since.
What do you think of
it's been a while.
the story? Now that you're getting into the story, how does that?
The story's cool. It's totally. I love that it's totally separate from anything. Like Konami's not trying to do a new Metal Gear game. They're just doing a survival spin-off.
Yeah, it's a cheaper game
like
too.
Acid,
you can get it for $30.
Acid was a cheaper game that was like a card-based spin-off on the Metal Gear universe. This is like a survive-based
Here's
spin-off.
the thing that I find annoying though. Yeah. You say it's a cheaper game, you get it for $30.
Yeah.
But then they put in all of these little ways to supplement the cost and make more money, which I don't think with Metal Gear Solid, maybe that reflects on the game or not, but I just get annoyed. It's like, if you're going to release a cheaper game, release a cheaper game. Don't put a game out for less money and then hide all these other money-making aspects into it. I'm a guy, I just want the complete package. I just want you to make a game, tell me the price, I'll pay the price, and then I have access to all the features of the game. And I feel like it's a slippery slope, this era of mobile gaming where it's like, well, the cost to get in is really cheap, but then we'll just keep the ball rolling by feeding you this feature, feeding you that feature. Yeah. You know, pay for an extra save. Here's some DLC or additional content. Because I feel like maybe if the plan going in was just this is going to be a full price $60 game we're going to make it fucking badass and we're just going to give it all to you. Then there's more effort put into the development of the core game. My worry is that it cheapens the core game when they think like, well, we're going to release it for cheaper and put all these other money-making revenue sources into it. What do you guys think about that?
To be fair, though, it seems like all those things are ignorable. Like it seems like all the there were microtransactions in the Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
There were a billion.
If you were impatient and didn't save up your daily bonuses, and I get it, they didn't give them out if you didn't log in every day.
Yeah.
But you could, spend some cash in there to just get shit done.
I think that kind of thing is fine if it's completely
But you don't see these incremental steps where they introduce it in the Phantom Pain. Now it's back in Metal Gear Survive, but it's a little bit more advanced. Aren't we marching towards a destination where it's going to get to a point where, say, the next Metal Gear or Metal Gear 6 or 7 comes out and it's like, okay, you've played for 3 hours today. That's it for the day.
Well, yeah.
Come back tomorrow unless you want to pay more money.
Well, they kind of, but the thing is they tried that with Battlefront 2. I mean, it was almost exactly that. But everyone rejected it.
Yeah, they rejected it for that game, but the corporations are kind of marching towards this destination.
Of course. And they'll continue that. I totally agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
And the corporate idea is to keep marching forward, take an inch from them, keep taking an inch, take another inch next year. In 6 months, we'll take another inch. There was finally enough pushback with the Battlefront thing that it was like, hey, kind of a win in our favor as a consumer. But I do agree with Rocco. None of that stuff's even come up for me where I even wanted to spend money.
Yeah, as of now, whatever. It's just, it's a question of what will happen.
And I agree with, like I was saying, everything you say, Derek. It's just that was 2004 games, and now it's like we're in this era of they figured out how cell phone games, free-to-play games work to make more money for the company. Like, Pocket Camp is Nintendo's new Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
It's free to play. But I know hardcore people that have put in hundreds of dollars already.
On a mobile game.
Yeah.
I mean, same with
more
Pokemon
than they
Go,
would
I
pay
guess.
on
People
any
do
console
that.
game.
Yeah.
That's the cost of 2 or 3 console games.
Right.
So if there's outliers out there that feel good because I play this every day and I don't mind spending some money, Nintendo's looking at it like, hey, yeah, fucking make Animal Crossing free. We just need those hardcores to keep the lights on in the Animal Crossing servers room.
I see
it's
it
not that
as,
expensive to keep updating.
In Jurassic Park, they talk about how the raptors were testing the boundary for weaknesses. That's what see all these DLC experiments as. They're experimenting with what if to have another save, it costs a little bit of money. People didn't seem to mind that. Okay, keep that for all of our games. Now what else can we do?
Sure, maybe.
A game that did it really well that I really enjoyed and is similar to Survive is Let It Die. Was that free-to-play game that came out on PS4. That you could buy, and I would every once in a while actually spend some, because it was a free-to-play game and you could get continues was kind of how it worked. So if you died before you brought your haul back home, you'd be like, fuck, I don't want to leave it there. Maybe I'll spend $1 for 5 more continues. Boom, I can go a little further and make sure I get my ass home.
Yeah.
And I found myself doing that occasionally, and it never really bothered me because it was, again, I justified it in my head. It worked on me. I got this game for free. I'll spend $1 here.
Yeah.
But I've so far...
The free thing does guilt you almost sometimes into like, hey, whatever.
And I would rationalize it with Survive, but honestly, in the hours and hours and up to level 23 that I've put into it, I've never come to the point or even found where I could go spend my coins. I guess I could go into the store and look what they have to offer, but I'm fine. I'm earning everything and I'm sending guys out on missions for stuff I don't have.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm feeling like, I could use a big haul. I'll jump into multiplayer. I add Brian or a couple other people from my friends list. We go do a quick round, and then that's where you can score rare items and real big hauls of loot to bring back to your base.
Is it PlayStation 4?
It's PlayStation 4, Xbox,
it's all consoles,
Steam. It's across the board.
What do you have it on?
PlayStation 4.
Okay. The aspect of it being a survival game, I actually do like those games like Don't Starve.
It is tedious. I mean...
I find those games...
You remember the Red Dead skinning an animal animation?
Yeah.
Brian just told me, God, this reminds me of that so much where you have to watch that cutscene.
You know what, though? Fucking Minecraft is tedious.
Yeah.
if you are willing to spend hours collecting fucking rocks and diamonds in Minecraft, then you can't complain about Metal Gear Survive or survival games being tedious.
And I will say, you can go in, once you start leveling up, you can buy these upgrades in your skill tree really easily. It doesn't lock you out. It just lets you pick and choose which ones sound interesting. And there's ones that are like, carve your shit up faster, pick stuff up faster, run faster, have more stamina. Like anything that would be annoying at the beginning, like I talked about, like food and water, couple levels in, man,
you master it.
You get a farm, and you get water barrels that are making shit for themselves.
It actually sounds interesting to me. I might pick this game up. We can do some multiplayer together.
I'd be down. It's fun.
Everything that you're saying, does it have to be Metal Gear? Did it have to be that way?
That's what's interesting to me, because I wouldn't play this if this was just a generic.
Right. But what if you heard
IP?
there was a really good new survival game, new IP? Like, because right now I think this game started with a lot of negative press because everyone's pissed off about the Konami thing and Kojima. But if it didn't have to be that way, and I'll be honest, they cut some corners with price because they're just using all of the environments and elements and assets from the Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes. There's a lot of new stuff too. But a lot of the land and environment and everything.
And the Fox engine. I mean, they didn't have to pay shit for that at all.
Well, then there you go.
But I love how tight the controls in that Fox engine. I had mastered them after putting so many hours into Phantom Pain. So being able to go back into the Fox engine, into the Metal Gear world, and build a new mother base, and honestly, in something that happened in the story of Phantom Pain is your old mother base after Peace Walker gets blown up and sunk into the ocean. This just has this skewed story where like, oh no, while that was happening, some parts got sucked into wormholes. Hey, figure it out.
Nice.
And now you're kind of like playing in this environment where it's still in between Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, but you're just abandoned, building kind of a new makeshift mother base, if you will, and assigning people to different teams to go out and hunt stuff, to go get agriculture going, to repair the barricades around your base. It feels like all of that management in Phantom Pain, which if you didn't like spending all that time in the AAC doing menu tree stuff in Phantom Pain, maybe this isn't for you, because it is a lot of, crafting menus, going to different workbenches.
What I find most interesting about this game, I've never experienced a game where people's minds were just made up on the game before it ever came out.
Totally. Yeah.
For better or for worse. I think Garrett is an example of somebody we all could have predicted was going to play this game.
No matter what.
My money was on you liking it, and here we are, you like it. I'm seeing so many people in the chat and on the internet, the minute they saw it and Kojima wasn't a part of it, fuck that game.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit. And now that the game is out, it's like, have you played it? No, I ain't fucking played it. Bullshit game. Fuck that game.
That's where
people
I'm at.
are in there.
And there's no... people have made their minds up on this game one way or the other. You either like it or you hate it before you ever played it.
Yeah, it's so... I think for the people who are negative about it, I mean, there's a lot of like, fuck Konami, like... residual
Vitriol.
whatever, but I'm not even coming from that. To me, it's just so intrinsically tied to Kojima that I don't. It's like Twin Peaks without David Lynch.
It's also
like,
pretty
not
fresh
interested.
since the whole thing happened.
It's just
if it was 5 years from now, I think people will probably be like, "Oh, whatever, fuck it."
Yeah,
Here's the
Fox
thing.
engine wouldn't exist anymore in
I
5
like
years.
the Metal Gear Solid series, but I don't care about the drama.
Yeah, I want
behind
to
the
play with my
scenes.
toys.
And I don't even
That's all I care
care
about.
necessarily that this is branded as Metal Gear or not. The way you describe the game, it sounds like something I want to try, regardless of whether it's Metal Gear or not. And the fact that Kojima has this bad blood with Konami also doesn't factor into my desire to play or not play this game.
Yeah.
I think Kojima himself is fine.
Yeah.
I think he's okay.
Yeah,
I don't
totally.
think he cares.
No, I don't think so
He's
either.
doing his own thing. He doesn't care.
I just think
That's what's great is he's freed up to now be away from all of this past
Yeah, totally.
and work on
Whatever
But for me,
wants to do.
but for me, it's just the fact that he isn't involved in something that he was such a big part of. It just isn't that interesting to me. That's where it is. It's not like I'm not setting shit on fire.
George
like
Lucas
mad.
isn't involved in the new Star Wars. The creator of a
But
project
he wasn't
leaves sometimes.
out the gate though. He was in mixed. You know what I mean? Like Star Wars trilogy doesn't have him in every aspect of it. You know what I mean? Like to the level that Kojima was in Metal Gear. You know what I mean? Like the second Star Wars has other people making it.
There's always been spin-offs.
But,
Twin Snakes.
George Lucas sold Star Wars. I feel like if Kojima sold Metal Gear, there'd be a different story. It's like, he gave it to them. Like,
but I'm not even.
What difference would that make on the final product?
Yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't. No, but people's perception of it is being like, one was taken, one was given.
But there was a lot of mud slung when the firing and the separation.
Yeah, we were part of it.
Sure, yeah.
So, people know about.
Check out our VR video.
They pick sides.
Yeah, but yeah, in the case of George Lucas, I mean, Empire Strikes Back, he didn't direct. No. It's just immediately whatever. It's a little different of a situation. I just feel like with this, it's I use it, like I said, the example of Twin Peaks without David Lynch. It's like that actually does exist. There are episodes like that.
Season 2
and they're unwatchable to me.
Those are my favorite episodes.
I just feel Sean always says that. Those are the only ones he watched.
I only watched those.
I just don't care.
So when
I'm not like angry about it.
When the game first came out, I was doing a Twitter search, just keywords, Metal Gear Survive review, and it was no good review. I was looking at YouTube thumbnails where they were all bad reviews, people tearing it up. It was a lot of the same one, and I watched the review, and the stuff the guy talked about was just not even true. He talked about wasting 19 hours of playing this game where he was constantly hungry and thirsty and could never satiate and was always having a dizzy screen and had injuries
sounds
that
like
he
it
could
just
never
sucks
heal.
At the game.
Yeah,
Who was this?
This is an example of a negative YouTube review.
Oh yeah,
and then bitching about the environments and everything being recycled, but really. There's this totally new element when you go into the dust. It is so foggy and creepy and nighttime, and it adds a new layer or a new filter over kind of what the game had ever looked. The game didn't really ever look like that. Maybe when you're battling the skulls in Phantom Pain, but it gives it also that horde mode is I've gotten so just fucking energized in my seat and excited playing it, and then waiting, the countdown's almost here, I'm about to get my ass kicked, and then you are saved in the nick of time. It's a different type of game. There is stealth, but it's not about being stealthy.
I think
it's a different game.
You're kind of tapping into a larger problem with the internet, and I even think we're guilty of this sometimes, where everybody's a fucking expert. Everybody has their opinion, and they're you see these reviews that are definitive. This game's a piece of shit. I couldn't survive, and it's I don't know why that opinion is so valuable.
I think negativity is respected more in an angry gamer who tears games a new asshole, and all the comments are I love it when Jeremiah rips into stuff. Don't you love it? That was what the comment section of this video happened to be like, and I was
funny is we were actually talking about, this is kind of unrelated, but we were talking about Mega64 earlier this week and feedback we get from people, and we've found that a lot of times people want to give you feedback when they're mad at you, and they don't want to give you feedback when they're happy with what you're doing. And it's the people who think you're doing a good job stay silent, and then the people who are angry and think you suck are the most vocal commentators on what you're doing. And it kind of warps your perception sometimes, because we were talking about things that we used to do that we canceled, that we don't do anymore because there was such negativity. And when we don't do it, people are like, oh, I really like that. And it's well, where were you?
Yeah.
All the feedback we heard was about how we suck.
The example that I used this week, and I'm going to bring this up, but don't sweat it.
Okay.
But I remember doing the Remember Off.
Do you remember?
No.
We were young again, innocent then. Do you remember?
No.
In 2016, and all I got were all the feedback I got was, Rocco, you're the only one that enjoys this bit.
I'm with them.
Fucking drop this bit,
Yeah.
and I was Jesus, okay.
I wrote everything.
So I didn't do it last year, just thinking well, people didn't like it. That's fine. I was enjoying it, but I'm in my own head. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, when last year ended, it was, I got even more emails that were what happened? And so that's what I mean. Is in 2016, I only heard from the people who were mad.
Well, that was a very
sometimes
bad
that happened.
and
sometimes that happens, and
we're guilty of it too. We're guilty of
it
it too. I remember doing a podcast a few months ago complaining about Game of Thrones, and there was so much negative feedback towards me, and it really made me kind of reflect on Yeah, why does my opinion on this TV show matter? I'm just talking about things that make me mad, and then other people want to argue with me, that makes them mad. And yeah, it really made me think about how, and maybe this has come across, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I've tried, I don't know if I've been that successful, but I try not to just criticize things for the sake of criticizing them anymore on this podcast. I think it's more beneficial to kind of shine the spotlight on the things you appreciate.
Exactly.
And focus more on what you like.
Well,
And you don't need to just harp and pay so much attention to the things you don't like, because that just brews a negative environment where everybody's angry and everybody just wants to argue.
But it's also not like you can't you can't criticize something you saw, but I think it's more of a focus on like the thoughts about it versus fuck Game of Thrones, fuck that bullshit, these new writers eat my ass. You know it's not that. It's not coming from a place of that. It's more about thoughtful things.
I mean, and really, it was like I would want people would argue with me, and I'd want to defend my arguments. But at the end of the day, I just thought, like, what does it all matter? Like, who cares what I think about Game of Thrones? I don't fucking work on the show. I have no influence on the show whatsoever. I can't get people to watch it or not watch it. Yeah. There's no point to me voicing opinions about the things I don't like. Who gives a shit? Yeah. So,
but I will say, not to keep talking about the Metal Gear thing, but I will say news. Though, I will say with the vitriol you see around that, it should be mentioned that, I mean, they didn't allow a man to receive an award at an award show when he won. They didn't, like there was vitriol, like they did bring it on themselves.
There was
a lot of the negativity. Lot of the negativity they did bring on themselves. So I'm not, regardless of your reason for playing it or not,
No,
they did. The PR shitstorm they made themselves was
the most extreme. The most extreme of the negativity is like, don't fucking buy this game because fuck you for supporting that company. And it's like, hey man, don't tell me how to play.
Make your own mind.
I'll play my fucking toys on Saturday morning.
Exactly.
Right. He works his job to spend his money on his toys.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah, you got him.
I'll see. Most of my friends list is like online playing this weekend, so some people bought it. I've been having some good matches in multiplayer.
Well, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I'm happy. I'm honestly.
Sean's happy.
I'm glad
He's rich and happy.
And I hope the game every once in a while there's like a little glitch or a little audio cuts out, and here's this is version 1. I hope it gets supported and keeps being. Metal Gear Online seemed to be continually updated and got patches and stuff like that.
Well, as everyone in this room knows, version 1 is not that great.
Yeah,
2 and 3 are a lot better.
That's what
it gets better.